Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a Friday Reads. So, what do I plan on reading this weekend? I have just started, as of yesterday, Juliet's Answer by Glenn Dixon. This is the story, it's a memoir of sorts about a man who goes to Verona, Italy, and he answers letters that are mailed to Juliet. And I know I had a viewer last week mention or the other week when I was talking about what books I was going to be reading this month, and they said, oh, that sounded like the movie Love Letters to Juliet. Well, the movie is actually mentioned in the book. I'm only about a chapter and a half of the way through it, but they do mention that book and movie, and he said that was kind of what made him want to come and do this. He's actually a high school teacher in Canada, which was super exciting when I read that, because I don't hunt out necessarily Canadian authors, but it's always nice when I come across one. So, yeah, and he mentions teaching in Canada quite often, and, you know, he kind of goes back and forth in time to when he was teaching Romeo and Juliet to his students and talking about how he got them interested in it and stuff like that, along about talking with Verona and what it looks like and what it's like being there. So, you know, like I said, I'm only about a chapter and a half in, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the chapters are relatively long. They're about, I don't know if you guys read on an e-reader, but what I love is it gives you that option at the bottom that tells you like how many more minutes left in the chapter. And the chapters average about 30 minutes each. So they're about half-hour long chapters. And at the speed that I read, which is relatively quickly, but the whole book is less than 300 pages. So I should fly through it really, really quickly. But so far I'm really enjoying it. And it's a really nice change of pace from the book that I just finished, which was The Bourbon Thief, which I have a lot of thoughts on. So either check out my very brief review that I did on Goodreads, or hold up till the end of the month, and I'll be doing a review, of course, at the end of the month. So the book that I plan on reading after Juliet's Answer is Maverick Sheriff by Dolores Fawson. I believe this is the first book in the Sweetwater County series, I think. Sorry if I got that wrong. It is a Harlequin intrigue novel. I'm very much looking forward to it. Again, a nice little change of pace. Like I said, The Bourbon Thief. It was a heavy book. I did not expect it. I keep going back to it, and I do apologize, but, you know, it is nice to have, like, you know, a little bit easier reads, if you will. Especially for the weekend, too. And I plan on really doing nothing this weekend. I'm really going to be busy next weekend. A very good friend of mine is getting married, so, you know, and I've got friends coming up from the U.S., but I'll talk about that more next week. I'm jumping ahead of the game. I'm all over the place today. I apologize. I do have an audiobook that I'm currently listening to. On Wednesday, the library messaged me that one of the audiobooks that I had on hold had come in, and that is I Hate Everyone Except You. I think that's what it's called. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. By Clinton Kelly. And if that name sounds familiar, he is the gentleman who was the other half of What Not to Wear, which is hands down probably one of my favorite television shows of all time. I adored him and Stacy. It was a Friday ritual for me and my best friend growing up when that show was on. She would come over to my place or to my parents' house, which I was still living at home, and we would sit and have cups of tea, and we would watch What Not to Wear, and we would comment every time that if we ever won the lottery, we would hire Clinton and Stacy to come and dress us, like, to show us what to wear. And we loved the show, and I was so disappointed when it got canceled. But, I mean, I understand it ran for 10 years. But it's been really interesting. It's sort of a memoir, essay kind of thing that seems to be popular right now. I generally don't read these by celebrities, mainly because I really don't care. But I'll be honest, I don't. I'm not one of those celebrity people, and there's nothing wrong if you are, but I'm just not. But I am a big fan of his, and it's been very interesting listening to his childhood, and of course he's done a chapter already talking about being on the show, and his thoughts on Stacy, which has been very interesting. I called my mom because she used to watch the show with us, and when I was telling her, she's like, really? So it was very, very interesting. If you can get your hands on a copy of the book, it is fun. The audio is great. He's narrating it. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. The only other thing that I am going to be doing this weekend, other than reading, is of course knitting, and I thought, as I always do, show you what I plan on working on this weekend. So this is a sweater for me. I am working on the body, so it sort of kind of looks like a sweater. I think I showed this to you guys like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and I only literally had like the collar part done. So I've made a bit of progress. But yeah, the sleeves, as you can see, are now on hold. So these are the sleeves here where my fingers are. And so it'll fit like this. And now I'm working on the body. My little needle holder. It is Boston Red Sox. Because this is my Boston Red Sox themed sweater. Because it's in Red Sox colors. So, yeah, absolutely love it. Having a great time with it. I'm about 6 inches into the body. I think I have to go to like 14 inches. And I currently have a cat laying on the ground beside me, playing with my headphones that are hanging off my table here. So sorry about that, guys. But anyway, I also want to thank you guys very much for the feedback about having the pictures in. It's a little tedious to do, I've realized, because the program that I'm using to add the pictures is called Power Director. And it's a free copy that came with my computer. And it's a little bit more of a pricey program to purchase. So I'm not purchasing it. Because for what I'm using it for, I don't see the point. But what I've learned is when you put your video in and add the pictures to it, it will only let you, because it's the free version, it will only let you upload 10 minutes at a time. So like if your video is more than 10 minutes, it'll take like 18 hours to upload. And I'm not doing that. So I'm trying to keep these Friday reads relatively short now so I can get them into the allotted time. And when I have a longer video, I'm just going to try and cut and paste it. So if you notice the last two videos seem to be a little cut and pasted, a little funny, it's because I didn't realize that at the time. But now I know, and I know how to fix it, and I know how to deal with it, and I'm happy with it. I really want to have those pictures there for you guys because I think it's difficult for you to see something on my phone if there's bad lighting or what have you. So yeah, so again, thank you all so much for all the feedback on that. Like I said, not much planned this weekend. Just some relaxing, some knitting, a lot of reading, and yeah. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. This is probably the shortest Friday read you guys have ever seen from me. I hope that's cool. I see a lot of people's Friday reads that are like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm like, good for you for, you know, reining it in and not just sitting there yapping for 5 minutes, which is what I'm doing now. I'm gonna let you guys go. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are reading this weekend, because I would love to know. And take care, have a good one, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.